strike down, Wang Chung let out an angry roar. Damn it. Am I afraid of a bunch of you? Saying this, he lifted a grenade launcher and manually loaded a second high-explosive grenade. The 30mm grenade launcher erupted with deadly fury in the next moment, and the heavy high-explosive grenade shot out, instantly hitting the target and splattering blood, effectively blowing the creature apart mid-air. This provided Wang Chung with 3 units of energy points. Fall back. Wang Cheng's firepower was astonishing as the surrounding mutants continued to converge. He kept firing, and the grenade launcher compensated for the lack of area damage, allowing him to blow away large groups of densely packed mutants with just one shot. Wang Cheng's energy points surged, and with 5 prepared 30mm high-explosive grenades expended, his energy points reached 135, covering the cost of upgrading the grenade launcher. The 3 of them could accumulate that much energy in a day of hunting, but they achieved it in just a few minutes. Wang Chung sighed internally, realizing that science and technology truly are the primary productive forces. Upgrading the shotgun was the right choice, as the killing efficiency had instantly improved by several levels. However, Wang Chung was now running for his life. Despite the powerful fire of the grenade launcher, it made too much noise, attracting all the mutants from all directions. Gathering like a tide. Looking around, it was a sea of black, making one's scalp tingle. Unless Wang Chung had a heavy machine gun. Facing such a scene meant he could only escape quickly. He climbed into a vehicle with Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai, speeding away and gradually shaking off the relentless mutants. Zhang Chao, still shaken, said, "Second brother, where did you get the grenade launcher? It's impressive, but it makes too much noise." Wang Chung felt the same, deeply sensing a fear of insufficient firepower. "I need to upgrade. I need even more firepower. That way, even if there are more mutants, I can sweep them all away." Still, the outcome wasn't too bad. If this had happened earlier, with so many mutants alerted, they might not have even had the chance to escape to the vehicle and would have been surrounded and killed. But now, not only did he manage to escape, but he also obtained a significant number of energy points through his powerful firepower. Even though they were chased for 2 blocks and couldn't see the store anymore, overall, it was still quite good. They had taken a solid step forward in confronting the mutants. At that moment, however, Su Xinghai showed a serious expression. "Do you hear that? Gunfire." Chapter 37. The Price of the Capital. Ahead, gunfire could indeed be heard. It was only a street away at first, with just a few sporadic shots. But it quickly escalated into a large-scale exchange of fire, dense like popping beans. Just a moment ago, Wang Chung and his group had made their way several streets away to avoid alarming the mutated creatures. Now, they were hiding under a canopy extending from a street-side food stall, 2 to 3 kilometers away from the Ping Song marketplace. This area was one they had not explored before, and they did not expect to find armed individuals nearby. Were they military personnel? Su Xinghai looked at Wang Chung and asked, "Should we go take a look?" Zhang Chao was a bit excited. "Are they military? Has the military pushed in?" In recent days, the gunfire in the urban area had significantly decreased. While hiding in the underground parking lot of the Ping Song marketplace, they had their own analyses. Considering 2 possibilities. First, that the military had indeed been overwhelmed and was fully retreating from the city. Second, that the military was gaining the upper hand, having cleared many of the monsters in the urban area and was gradually advancing, essentially taking control of the situation. Wang Chung raised his head and listened closely to the gunfire. It sounded very near, seemingly just behind a multi-story building ahead. From this position, he could even faintly hear some human shouts drowned out by the gunfire. It had already been over 10 days since the outbreak began. Having guns did not necessarily mean they were military. Wang Chung and the others could find guns, and it was possible for others to acquire them by various means. "Let's go take a look." Wang Chung thought for a moment and decided to get out of the vehicle. He did not plan to expose himself directly, but wanted to observe first. While others might be excited to encounter military personnel and eager for their assistance, Wang Chung was different. He had weapons, warships, and energy points, so he was not overly dependent on the military. On the contrary, he was more concerned about falling into someone else's trap. Nevertheless, he was still prepared to check it out. His ammunition was running low, whether or not they were military. If the other side had guns, they would definitely have ammunition. Acquiring a batch of ammunition would be beneficial. Without ammunition, even if Wang Chung had a gun, it would be like a river without a source, and even the warship would fall silent. Regarding mutated creatures, his vehicle was not very conspicuous, but for other humans, even if his Wuling warship could operate silently, it could still be seen. Therefore, the trio got out of the car and quickly approached the direction of the gunfire. There were not many mutated creatures on this street. A few were wandering like ghosts. Wang Chung switched to a shotgun and, in coordination with Su Xinghai, silently took them out. More energy points were credited to their account, and amidst the dense gunfire ahead, the sound they made was also drowned out. As they got closer, Wang Chung and his team found a hiding spot, peeked out to observe, and indeed saw a squad of military soldiers covering a group of survivors as they retreated. Among this group, there were not many fighters, only 4 in total, all covered in blood. One of them was injured, stumbling backward while holding an ammunition box, supported by other survivors. However, there were more than 20 survivors they were protecting, all with panic-stricken faces, continuously retreating, and some were shouting, "Kill it! Don't let it come near! Don't let it come near!" Their vehicles seemed to be damaged, overturned on its side, emitting thick smoke. At this moment, they were retreating step by step, facing at least 17 or 18 mutated creatures advancing towards them. Most critically, there was also a second-stage mutated creature, bulky like a giant meatball, standing at least 5 meters tall, which had just taken a burst of rifle fire without flinching, mixing in with the ordinary mutated creatures and marching forward aggressively. In the corridor of a nearby residential building, more mutated creatures were continuously emerging, launching surprise attacks on this team. The 3 fighters were firing while retreating, facing the mutated creatures and trying to protect the panicked survivors behind them from scattering, constantly falling back. As Wang Chung and his team arrived, they saw a fighter on the left edge being tackled to the ground by a mutated creature jumping down from the 2nd floor of the adjacent building. With sharp claws sweeping through, blood and flesh flew, and amidst the screams, that fighter was severely injured. However, being an experienced soldier, he pulled out a tactical knife to block, barely preventing the mutated creature from biting off his head. Yet, he couldn't hold out for long. The power of the mutated creature far exceeded that of a human. Even a well-trained soldier would ultimately succumb to such overwhelming force. His death was only a matter of time. His comrades changed color, ready to rush in for rescue. But with the fall of the soldier on the left, a gap appeared in their line, and a mutated creature roared as it charged into the crowd of survivors behind them. Panic instantly spread among the survivors. In that moment, the soldier found himself in a dilemma. Should he save his comrade or help the survivors? If he saved his comrade, the survivors would surely suffer casualties. If he helped the survivors, his comrade would undoubtedly die under the mutated creature. It was a difficult moral dilemma. And the critical point was that this soldier had to make a choice quickly, otherwise, no one would be saved. Another soldier on the far right was also under immense pressure and had no time to help. Just then, heavy gunfire erupted from behind them. Wang Qing took a glance and decided to act, not for any other reason. But he had his eyes on the ammunition box tightly clutched by the injured soldier being pulled back by the survivors. It was a box of rifle rounds. If he could get it, he wouldn't be short on ammunition for a while. Moreover, if he didn't act now, all these soldiers would be dead. Wang Chung was the first to fire. To avoid friendly fire, he used a handgun instead of a shotgun, boldly opening fire and directly stating, "I'll deal with this one. You go save people." He and his companions charged into the crowd of survivors to confront the mutated creature that had broken in among them. The injured soldier was taken aback. Hearing the gunfire, he initially thought it was his reinforcements arriving, but to his surprise, a group of young people dressed in casual clothes, resembling university students, burst in. However, this group seemed highly experienced, their marksmanship precise, as they charged into the crowd, swiftly eliminating the mutated creatures with efficiency, even sharper than some of the less experienced soldiers. With no time to think too much, he quickly took action to rescue his comrades. The mutated creature that had charged into the survivors was soon killed, and on the other side, the soldier who had been knocked down was also rescued by his teammates. While fighting and retreating, the soldier expressed his gratitude, saying, "I am Li Xinqing from the 9th Company, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Regiment of the 176th Armored Division. Thank you for your assistance. Where did you get your weapons? We need to retreat to a safe area quickly." The immediate threat had been neutralized, but ahead of them, mutated creatures were still advancing, especially the 2nd-stage mutant, which loomed closer like a mountain of flesh. The 3 soldiers were only equipped with light weapons and had no way to deal with such tough opponents. The situation was urgent, and the survivors looked panicked. Wang Chung glanced at them and pointed to the ammunition box, saying, "We can help you, but I need some of your bullets." Upon hearing this, Li Xinqing was momentarily taken aback, while the other survivors immediately changed their expressions. What was this? Did they still want military supplies? Such greed. They wondered if the weapons in their hands were also taken from the military. This was taking advantage of a crisis. A survivor with a horse-like face cast a wary glance at Wang Cheng's gun and shouted, "What kind of nonsense is this? You come to save people. And I thought you were good guys, but it turns out you're just like the rest of the doomsday scum. Don't think I want to speak up just because you have guns. We have soldiers here too." Another survivor cried out, "Just agree to them. Help us. The monsters are coming." In fact, this matter had nothing to do with the discontented survivors like the man with the horse face. They were merely envious and dissatisfied, seeing Wang Chung and his group as ordinary people with guns who could negotiate with military personnel. Su Xinghai remained silent for a moment before sneering. "Everyone just wants to survive. Is it our fault that we won't help you for free? Without our intervention, countless more of you would have already perished." The final result would likely be being overwhelmed by these monsters, with none surviving. We are